Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, TransferTrainSolutions.com on a Friday, 16th, Jan 26. Let's get right into it. Just churning, lots of churn in the indexes. Let's get right into it. S&P's having just struggling to get above seven. Look right here. So yeah, struggling to get above these highs here on the futures market. That said, all kind of stuff going on below the surface. So you can see just churning here. This week has just been whipsaw back and forth, back and forth. Um, Similar with the Nasdaq, these mega caps, other than the chip stocks, we had TSM with earnings. And lifted some of the you really have to be a stock picker right now. MU going crazy, some of the memory, but on the other hand, little stocks like Nvidia can't get out of there. I mean, Nvidia is like dead in the water here, just can't even get above 190. Oracle back, on its back, can't get it. Can't get any kind of traction. I mean, that thing can't get out of its way. So it is a really mixed picture under the surface. You can see that manifested in these averages, just lots of whipsaw here as well. Small caps are the ones that are kind of leading right now. But one thing that really is notable for today is rates. I talk about this constantly. I write about it in the newsletter. They finally have broken out and it is impacting the housing stocks and all of the interest rate sensitive sectors. So we'll see. Next level on here looks like it's headed back to 430. Finally, we're getting a breakout after months and months of trying to attempt this thing since September, really. We'll see if this is meaningful and if this is going to raise some eyebrows uh, going on next week with us. By the way, CPI is on Tuesday. So that could be impactful as well on interest rates. Uh, the rest of the markets, dollar, not really moving on higher rates. Some of the uh, other sectors that we've been looking at, like the yen, that's bouncing a little bit here. Metals, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about the metals now. Gold consolidating so far. It looks like it may head low, higher because it just can't. Anytime it consolidates rather than pulls back out of a parabolic move, like this is, you get these parabolic moves and then you get that big drawdown. The fact that it's holding means it's either going to churn sideways or probably have one leg higher. How high it goes, obviously nobody knows. Similar with silver. Silver looks like it is a little bit more toppy, but still same thing here. You've got that rally up here, no follow through, still going sideways. It's very choppy trading here. All the metals really pulling back this week a little bit. Copper also coming from all-time highs. You can see that. If it breaks 574 on copper futures, I think we probably pulled back. Wouldn't surprise me if we pulled back, even back down to five at some point. But you can see uh, starting to, kind of have some some pullback here. Platinum also uh, is also starting to look a little bit toppy. Uh, we'll see if it breaks 2150, it could actually also have a big pullback down to maybe 2000 there. We had a lot of volatility in oil with Iran and all that kind of stuff. Did trade up to 62, pulled back. It's trying to hold here, so it's going to be interesting to see if they hold this area here in oil, this kind of mean reversion area, and see if if it does hold here. Incidentally, I think it's going to break out on on the subsequent rally and probably headed back up to maybe 66 on oil. Nat gas scraping the bottom here at again, I talk about this $3 level. This happens to be this gap here. Um, so it looks like it's holding that gap right around three. Um, we'll see how that goes with nat gas. If it breaks, by the way, below three, probably heads back down to 275. So right now, so far, it's kind of, more or less for the last 2 weeks, kind of been scraping the bottom here. It hasn't broken down. It looked like it was going to break down earlier this week. Uh, and it still could. I mean, obviously, but now it's kind of forming a little bit of a base. Clearly, some support resistance here at 221. We'll see how that goes. Grains, it looks like the commodity trade is could be setting up here. We got resistance at 1070. Uh, Wheat also churning here, trying to hold above the 5. Um, level. Still very, very choppy. They in fact sold off corn uh, after the grain report on Monday and just kind of holding it. So that's going to be an interesting situation. Again, below the surface, all kind of stuff going on. Literally half of the S&P's up, half of it's down. So what that speaks to is I think we're going to have probably, this is going to be more of a stock pickers market while the averages kind of churn. So, but therein lies the opportunities. There's lots of opportunities in some of these stocks, uh, depending on what sectors and whatever. Like, they also headline driven. So the housing stocks ran up initially on the fact that they were going to try to lower interest rates and that a ban on big institutions buying houses, and now it's given it all back because of interest rates. So you get a lot of churn underneath the surface there, and then the insurance companies, obviously. So all kinds of stuff going on below the surface. That's where the opportunities are, while the averages continue to churn. In any event, subscribe to the newsletter. I just did a class. I'll probably do another class in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned for that. Uh, and next week we've got CPI. We've got more earnings, and actually TSMC was what drove the rally this week in the chip stocks. So next week we got a whole ton of earnings as well. That's also going to be important. In any event, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Take care.